In this particular lecture, we are going to talk about compost for crop production. There are different types of compost we use in agriculture for crop production activity. Why we need to do composting? Because the main concept is in composting we use different residues, that is agriculture based residue or farmyard manure or different excreta that is being that is utilized by composting method. So basically we are degrading the organic complex biomolecule to simpler form so that it can provide nitrogen easily. So by composting basically we are using the organic residues, right? So composting are of different types. One is normal, that is what we use farmyard manure, that is manure that is we collected from the farm animals like cattle, sheep, goat, etc. So their excreta we need to gather or collect, we need to decompose that in a pit, and then we can use it as manure, that is called farmyard manure. Okay, then something called compost, that means there we use the manure as well as the residue, organic residue, and we left that in sealed pit, or that may be open pit, and we just left it as such for its decomposition up to 3-4 months. Another one is vermicomposting. Here we use worms, different earthworm species, efficient earthworm species, which digest this organic matter, and their residue, earthworm residue, that is granular in nature and that is rich in the nutrient content. So that is called vermicompost. Then some other type of composting are also there. So basically manures, what is manure? Manures are generally organic, that means they are from plant and animal origin. That is basically plant and animal waste used as source of plant nutrient, and they are classified as bulky organic manure and concentrated organic manure. Bulky organic manure means the nutrient content is less, and we need to use higher biomass of that particular manure because nutrient content is less. And concentrated organic manure means they are concentrated, that means nutrient is rich, and we need to apply less amount of that manure. So manures are of two different type, bulky organic manure and concentrated organic manure. For example, bulky organic manure means FYM, farmyard manure, then compost, then green manure. These are called bulky organic manure. Then concentrated organic manure, that means we can say oil cake, bone meal. We need very little quantity to apply in the field, and because of their high nutrient content, and that's why this is called concentrated organic manure. FYM, the nutrient content in FYM, that is farmyard manure, is 0.5% nitrogen, 0.2% P2O5 and 0.5% K2O. So this is the nutrient content you need to remember: 0.5, 0.2 and 0.5. It's the decomposed mixture of dung, urine and farm animal along with their litters and leftover fodders. So whatever litters or leftover produce from farm animals, from cattle shed, and along with that the urine of the farm animal and the excreta of the farm animal, that when we are decomposing, that is called farmyard manure. Then what are the crops that respond well to farmyard manure application? Like vegetables, fruits, rice, jute, and less responsive crops are like wheat, barley, oat, groundnut, sesame, linseed. So basically vegetable, fruit, rice, jute, these are highly responsive to farmyard manure, and wheat, barley, oat, groundnut, sesame, linseed, these are less responsive to farmyard manure. Compost, in other hand, these are manure. Compost is in other hand organic matter that has been broken down into simpler organic form, as I was discussing, and the process of compost making, that is called composting. There are different type of compost making in India we follow, like Nadeb compost, Bangalore method, Indore method, then Coimbatore method. These are different types of compost. Nadeb compost, that was developed by Narayan Diotau Padhari Pandey from Maharashtra. ND Padhari Pandey from Maharashtra. he proposed the NADEM compost method, where mostly the organic materials like crop residue, weeds, forest litter, kitchen waste, they are being used for composting material. Then Bangalore method, that is one anaerobic method of composting, mostly conventionally carried out in peat, that is Bangalore method. Then indoor method, this was developed by Rao and Deshpande. In indoor method, what happens? The organic waste sprayed in the cattle shed, they actually soak the urine, and along with the FYM or farm the residue of the excreta of the cattle, they are being decomposed. That is indoor method, and this was developed by Acharya and Deshpande. They developed Bangalore method, and indoor method was developed by Howard and Ward. Okay, Howard and Ward, they developed indoor method. So these are broadly different methods of composting followed in India. So by composting, we are basically simplifying the organic biomolecules, the complex biomolecules, into simpler form. In modern system of sanitation, water used in the removal of excreta and other waste called sewage, and sewage having whatever excreta we are in urban areas, whatever excreta is accumulated from different household, that is called sewage. And sewage having two components, one is solid, that is sludge, and liquid, that is sewage. So basically this sewage need to be treated before it is being used in agriculture, because it contains heavy metals and different toxicants. So it needs to be treated before, or decomposed or processed before used in the whether the sewage water or whether the sludge, that should be treated before use in agriculture, otherwise it will contaminate the field. Another one we are discussing was vermicomposting. Vermicomposting is basically the conversion of biodegradable organic waste material into granular compost with the help of earthworm. So most of the earthworm species like we use in our field for vermicomposting, they are Eisenia foetida, Eudilus eugene, Perionyx excavatus, Lumbricus rubellus. Mostly these two, Eisenia foetidus and Eudilus eugene, they are being used in vermicomposting method. Another one is phosphocompost, which comprises of organic waste plus rock phosphate plus phosphorus solubilizing microbes. Why phosphorus solubilizing microbe is added there? Because rock phosphate is both acid and water insoluble phosphatic fertilizer, which is generally applied in acidic soil and the long duration crop. And to mobilize that and the organic waste, we need phosphorus solubilizing microbes or phosphorus solubilizing bacteria or biofertilizer, which will mobilize this or solubilize this organic form of phosphorus. Then biosuper, that is one combination of rock phosphate plus sulfur oxidizing bacteria. So this was about compost for crop production, like compost, what are the different types of compost, what are the different methods of compost, different forms of compost, and their use in agriculture.